Thank you to PlayStation UK for sponsoring today's video. I'll be explaining all runner shells in Marathon, giving an overview on their abilities and playstyles, and helping you figure out which runner shell will fit your playstyle. Each runner shell is built around a specific gameplay archetype, with each having their own prime ability, tactical ability, and trait, and you can choose any of these shells before you go into each match. The abilities the runner shells give will change how you can tackle the PvE enemies and how you tackle PvP fights in Marathon, and even open up different opportunities to grab more loot. If you didn't know, Marathon is out right now, so if you do find any of what I show you interesting, you can click the link in the description to check it out. Marathon is a sci-fi extraction shooter developed by Bungie, the same studio behind Destiny 2 and the original Halo series. So let's start with my favorite runner shell, Thief. Thief has a grapple as their tactical ability, and grapples are cool. The grapple in Marathon doesn't need to attach to any surface though. Just aim anywhere and it will send out an orb that it can grapple from, and you can use your grapple momentum to go around corners, get up on height, or reposition quickly. It's pretty fun. Thief's prime ability is the pickpocket drone, and this is where Thief gets their name from. You can put out a controllable drone and then pick up loot from afar. And if you use it on a player, the most valuable item of theirs will drop on the floor, allowing you to remotely steal loot from players. You can also do the same with containers and open doors as well. Considering the PvE enemies in Marathon are pretty hard to deal with, being able to get in and out with a drone to loot remotely is pretty awesome. And the drone pairs well with Thief's first trait. You can activate this to see containers through walls. The container will glow a color corresponding to the highest value item in that container. Thief's final trait allows you to reduce the grapple cooldown based on how many items you have in your backpack. So more loot equals more grapples. Overall, Thief is for the loot goblins out there, but the grapple is a nice movement ability that gives Thief some power in combat too. Next up is Destroyer. At first glance, Destroyer looks like a slow and tanky runner, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Sure, his tactical ability is a riot barricade that can block incoming damage, but he also has a thruster as his first trait that lets him thrust towards the direction you're facing whilst midair, and his second trait is a tactical sprint, activatable at any time, that boosts the speed at which you can sprint. And then Destroyer's prime ability lets you fire shoulder-mounted missile pods. Keep firing on a target and they'll become homing missiles that will immobilize the target. So Destroyer is the kind of runner that's all about destroying, doing maximum damage and being in combat as often as possible. Destroyer is going to be great for those who just want to get in and fight as soon as you can, and you don't mind being the first one into a fight. Next is Vandal, another combat-focused runner that has even more emphasis on quick movement. Maybe not as much firepower as Destroyer, but still able to keep up in combat. Vandal's tactical ability is Disrupt Cannon. It can be fired at enemies to damage them and push them back, and if you charge it up first, it'll have a larger blast radius that deals more damage. The rest of Vandal's kit is all about movement though, with her first trait being Microjets. You can jump mid-air to perform a double jump. Whilst Destroyer has something similar, his jump will push him forwards, whilst Vandal's Microjets is all about getting verticality. Vandal's second trait is Power Slide. Every runner can sprint slide, but Vandal's is supercharged, allowing you to cross larger distances. Finally, Vandal's prime ability is Amplify. Once activated, you'll have faster movement speed and you'll be able to use your movement abilities more before becoming overheated. So when you use the overpowered slide together with the prime ability, you can get some pretty awesome moments. So Vandal is perfect for those that want to win fights with quick movement and fast outplays. Recon is the next runner shell, and the name really does say it all here. Firstly, you can use Recon's tactical ability, the Tracker Drone, to throw out a microbot that will hunt down a target and explode on them. It's a great tool to kill PvE enemies, but it can also overheat other enemy players, making it hard for them to escape. And whilst you don't get direct scans on players from the Tracker Drone, it certainly makes it quite obvious where a player is once they're found by the drone. Recon's first trait will get you even more intel. Finish a player and you'll get a live ping of the location of the rest of their squad. This kind of information can be super powerful to turn a fight in your hands. Recon's second trait is also quite nice. Break a shield and that player will leave a trail as they move. So once you've initiated a fight, the enemy might not be able to escape so easily. And then Recon's prime ability, you'll get sonar pulses that ping the location of all enemies, both players and PvE enemies through walls. If you want to win fights with intel and don't care too much for fast movement, then Recon might be for you. Assassin is the next runner, and he's all about stealth. Using a combination of smokes and invisibility, you can get the upper hand on both the PvE enemies and other players. Assassin's tactical ability is active camo, and it works as expected. It makes you camouflaged for a short duration whilst activated. Other players can just about see it, so don't mistake this as full invisibility. But it's harder to spot you than if you didn't have it, and more importantly, the UESC PvE enemies cannot see you whatsoever once you've got this activated. Now, as soon as you shoot, melee, take damage, or use a consumable, you will lose your camouflage, but it can still be a very powerful tool to sneak around and reposition in amongst the UESC. I found it's most useful against the PvE enemies, honestly. When things get a little too hot in a fight or you're about to run out of camouflage, you can use Assassin's first trait, Shadow Dive. Use it midair to slam to the ground, creating a plume of smoke. And this ties into his second trait, Shroud. Whenever you go into smoke, you'll go invisible, and the invisibility will remain for a short period when leaving the smoke as well. And then finally, Assassin's prime ability, Smoke Screen, creates a large area of smoke that you can of course play in and out of to go in and out of invisibility. Overall, Assassin really lets you play out that stealth power fantasy, and I think the footage I've shown so far could give you a great idea of what that could mean in gameplay. And then we've got Triage. If you want to be your team's last stand, the player that holds everything together, Triage is for you. He may not have a bunch of fast movement abilities, but he does have all sorts of support and healing power. His tactical ability, Med Drone, can let you throw a drone that attaches to you or your teammates. Once attached, it will restore health and shields to alive team members, whilst also stopping downed teammates from bleeding out. You can send out 2 of these at once, which will definitely help your team stay nice and healthy. Triage's first trait also boosts your team's healing potential. If you use a medical item and a teammate has a med drone attached to them, they'll get the healing shared to them. Triage's second trait, Battery Overcharge, will let you boost your weapon's handling. And if it's a Volt ammo weapon, it will EMP targets when you break the target's shield with it. And then Triage's prime ability is really great for recovering from dire situations. You can use it to immediately revive down teammates from a distance, or use it on enemies to EMP them. If you like being the medic in games, then Triage will be for you. The great thing about the runner shells in Marathon, though, is you can pick and choose which you want to play at the start of each match. And if you're up for a real challenge, you can try Rook. Rook is a different kind of runner shell. Once activated, you cannot bring in any of your own gear. You're given a very simple loadout and must go up against other teams of 3 as a solo, and you're thrown into an in-progress round. It can be a challenging way to hoover up some loot from previous battles during that match, or maybe you could use it as a way to test yourself against a stack of 3 players at once. Rook has a special ability that lets him blend in with UESC. When activated, the PvE enemies won't attack you, which could give you free roam to loot high-value areas that would otherwise be very hard to get in and out of alive. But what's really cool with Rook is that as you play, you can upgrade Rook and he gets better starting gear, meaning you'll end up not just having a shoddy, cheap kit, but a powerful arsenal to go and farm in-progress raids with. So which runner shell is your favorite? Let me know your thoughts, and you can check out Marathon for yourself with the link in the description. Cheerio!